This is an audio recording of a channeling session for Mahadeva, the Ascended Master, asking him to explain the process called Shamanic Soul Retrieval. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahadevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahadevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahadevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahadevaya. The soul is everywhere. Your soul cannot be fragmented. Your soul cannot become lost. That does not mean that soul retrieval is not a real skill, and that it does not mean that people cannot be healed by soul retrievals. But remember that you live in the illusion of space and time. The idea that your soul is disconnected from anything is an illusionary experience. People who lose their souls, quote unquote, are people who are in conflict with themselves. So the conflict is in the psyche of the human. This experience does not happen with anybody else. After you leave your body, you never have this experience of being in conflict with yourself. You never have the experience of yourself being fractured. So many times during the shamanic soul retrieval process, the shaman healer, they go into a trance-like state and they experience themselves traveling through different types of environments. For instance, a shaman may find themselves traveling into a dark cave, and in the dark cave they will see huddled in the corner the soul of the individual. And then they seek to retrieve the soul. So a common experience would be that as the shaman is navigating through some dark, frightening cave world, they will see trapped in the corner a soul that's frightened and lost. And as the soul of the shaman approaches it, they will communicate with the soul, assuring it and then guiding it back out. And then they may have an experience where they put the soul back into the body of the person, and then the person recovers. It may be that the person is in a coma, or they're sick, or they're suffering from a mental illness or emotional trauma, and then you will see what seems like that they're back, that they've healed, that they're themselves again. And the only thing that has happened is that the individual has decided to heal. And the shaman that does the retrieval is really, again, just a symbol for the unconscious of the patient. And again, it's an illusion that the soul can be fractured, that the soul can be lost somewhere else. Especially because the soul itself is connected to everything. So there is no place in the universe that the soul isn't. There is no place in the universe that you are not. So you can never be lost from yourself, because you are in fact everywhere. What you can become lost from is your own awareness of who you are and what you want to do, where you want to go in life. And that because of trauma, because of conflict within yourself, you can become deluded into the experience that you are fractured. But it's really as simple as acknowledging, as Michael Mahadeva teaches, what your soul wants you to do. So when you're running from yourself, you can have the experience of manufacturing a false experience of being fractured, of being lost. But the moment that you decide that you are going to accept the truth of what your soul really wants to do, you will then experience yourself becoming whole again. So that is the experience of shamanic soul retrieval. Many people ask this question about shamanic soul retrieval because they themselves feel fractured, or they themselves feel that something can steal their soul or take parts of their soul away from them. And this is really just their own unnecessary but understandable fear as a result of their trauma. But the more that you work to become empowered with yourself, confident with yourself, the less you will have to experience the delusion that you have lost energy or lost pieces of your soul, because that can never happen. Accept who you are, love who you are. Do not allow anybody to influence you to the point where you can't decide where you end and they begin. Always know the power and the infinity and the truth that is your soul. Always operate from your soul, and you will never experience the delusion of being fractured or having your soul lost. But you can, if you choose, act as a shamanic healer. You can choose to work in the same way that shamanic soul retrieval is normally done, which is in the trance state. It can be done consciously with a counselor. It can be done with an energy healer. It can be done if you simply choose to go into a shamanic state and seek out your soul. You can become your own shamanic healer. And again, it just comes down to you having the self-love, having the confidence, having the fearlessness to accept the truth of who you are, and then acting upon that. And then there is no danger of ever having the delusion of losing your soul or feeling fractured. And the best way to go through that is to continue with whatever practices you have, whatever disciplines you have. The practices that Mahadeva Michael teaches are extremely good for preventing or curing such an experience. You are everything, you are everywhere. And with that, I will leave you.